Howdy, y'all. My name is Chuckles Clown, and welcome to my NASCAR Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium, LCQ, and Clash actual race review. So first things first, I'm so glad we're out of the Coliseum. I love that track still. I think it's a great track. I hope it's in NASCAR 25. But what I saw today was yesterday, I guess, was great short track racing that we haven't seen in a while in the return to a classic track. Yes, the past couple years have been a kick of nostalgia. You want to get back these fans that are like, NASCAR died when Dale died. Well, guess what? NASCAR's still thriving. The 3 is still being hated by a bunch of fans, and it isn't going to take him dying for people to miss him. People are never going to miss Austin Dillon. Just plain and simple. Austin Dillon, if you're watching this, no hard feelings. But why are you watching some person from Indiana's takes on NASCAR and not watching my Retro Bowl series? Come on, bro. But anyways, as you see back here, my number 12 Menards racing hat, which I guess is probably inverted for you guys. It's not a 51. It's a 12 Menards racing hat, which is pretty sick. But, I mean, that's the wrong hat. Here I have a FedEx hat, too. I enjoyed this weekend. I'm not a huge Denny fan, but he did great. We need to find a sponsor for him to have on that car, though. Even if it's not his favorite sponsor, his favorite brand, or as big of a brand as Joe Gibbs wants, you need a decent-sized brand. You need a good brand to slap on the side of your car and be like, yo, you want to know what Joe Gibbs is? Joe Gibbs is extra gum racing. Joe Gibbs is Ask ROI. Joe Gibbs is this big name sponsor. No, never mind. That's taken. Lowe's is taken. I don't know. Green Bay Packers Racing. Joe Gibbs is something racing. This team uses this sponsor. You need to move on from FedEx, and you need to make sure that, we don't care if FedEx left us. We're on to bigger and better things. It's just a little kink in the hose. But yeah. On the side of racing, the LCQ was excellent. Bit of a scary wreck there. I'm not talking about the airborne one, because Ty Gibbs was an idiot. And the fact that they allowed him on track after maliciously trying to get back at the number 7 car under caution is ridiculous. They should not have let the 54 back on track. I don't get how you let someone do that after smacking someone under caution on purpose and then going airborne and being heated about it. And then he ended up being the caution that finished the race. I think he was 3 or 4 cautions. It was ridiculous. But Josh Berry was second in the LCQ, had a chance to win near the end, but he knew his best option was to just let Larson by, so he could hold off the 3 car. And that worked out for him. Josh Berry drove one heck of a race. And he proved himself like, hey, listen, maybe this maybe this number 21 car's win last year wasn't entirely a fluke. Maybe we have some speed. Maybe the Wood Brothers Racing is stronger than people might think. Maybe our connection to Penske is going to be paying off this year, and we're actually going to be acting like a 4th Penske car. And that's something I wouldn't be surprised to see. I love those Wood Brothers cars. I have one somewhere. I have one right here. And it's the same scheme, basically, that they've been running forever. It's a Paul Menard one. And that car drove an amazing race. I didn't think he was going to make it. I was sad. I loved that paint scheme. I was like, man, throwback paint scheme just for this weekend to not even make it. And he made it in. And a lot of big-name drivers did not. And then you go to the actual race. And there was some good action early on in both halves. So I guess in the quarters, we want to keep using the football analogy. Let's go quarters. There was no halftime show this year to my knowledge, which that sucks, but also you didn't hype the fans up for a Machine Gun Kelly concert just for you to be like, nah, too much rain, look at the time, I can't do it. No. And so you're like, yeah, we're not going to do that, but you can censor it, but you can do whatever you want to the drivers when they're driving around. Boo them all you want. And you saw the drivers getting heated. This is why I like short track racing at the beginning of the season, and why for an exhibition race, it's good. If the race in Mexico does good this year, I say you don't even consider going to Brazil as an exhibition race. I say you just full send it as, we're doing this on the schedule. Or if you're like, no, that's a bit risky. We did just do Mexico for the first time. Wait a bit on Brazil. You don't want to overflood the market. You don't want to seem too desperate. If you take this approach slow, fans are going to respect you more. Now, you don't want to wait out the market too long. You don't want to do what you did in Canada where you promised to build a track. Oh, we're going to race it. Oh, never mind. We're going to race it. Never mind. You need to commit and you need to go. So either commit now or commit in a couple years, or you're not going to go to Brazil in this generation of car or this generation of driver. And also, do you want every single international race you race on to be on a road course? Do you want everyone to look at NASCAR and be like, well, they only race ovals in America. Everywhere else, they turn right and left. Never turn right in America. No. You want people to be like, oh, yes, that's NASCAR. The people who built an oval track in Brazil and were successful. The people who found a track in Brazil and were successful. Do you really want to go to Brazil next year for the Clash and have a 23, 24 car field for it? No. Now, would you have some interesting names in that race? Yes, you would. Could you have Elio back in the race? Yeah. Could you have other drivers back in? Could you, folding to this, increase drivers' likelihood to join and increase OEM looking at your sport? Yes, it could. But is it worth the risk of oversaturating the market or having a bad product? I don't think so. I say you let at least 3 years at Bowman Gray play out and then see where you are. You cannot really go much more north than Bowman Gray, which eliminates like a New York race, a New York short track that I saw a lot of people commenting on Iceberg Stream yesterday. I don't think you can do that because of the weather. People complaining that, oh, why don't you go up north at the start of the season? Just go race here, go race there. You can't. NASCAR and motor racing is limited by weather in these areas. And that's the difference between that's one of the big differences between motor racing and stick and ball sports is, stick and ball sports, they will play in the snow. Motor racing, you cannot. You cannot race in the rain. You cannot race in the snow unless you were doing snowmobiles or something like that. And then the race is good. Ryan Blaney got up to second, Denny Hamlin third, Chase Elliott first, where he was dominant all week, and that's a scary sight to see for everyone else, because if he's back to his pre-injury, pre-suspension era, he might be causing some trouble up at the front of the field and winning and leading a lot of laps and races, and he might take over at HMS as the number one guy, and that might mean this year he could genuinely win most popular driver, not just be named Elliott, which there's no hate for him for that. I don't hate Chase Elliott. I don't know about love. I don't hate any driver in the field. I have a couple drivers that I just get mad at during the races, like Ty Gibbs. He's not my favorite driver, but man, if I get to see Ty Gibbs win his first race this year when I go to the Brickyard, that's going to be awesome. I'm never going to forget it. He's going to raise in my ranks. Kyle Larson was never my favorite driver, but seeing him win a race this year at the Brickyard raised him in my ranks. Blaney, I've always loved. Jimmy, I always loved. I like the hardware guys. Same with Tony Stewart. Logano, seeing him win the championship, it annoyed me, but it's impressive. He knows how to compete. Denny, I really don't like him, but he owns 2311, and I really like Tyler Reddick and Bubba. I don't hate him. Josh Berry, it's a pretty cool guy. A guy that's been through so much adversity in his very, very short career, but never has really struggled like many thought he would. Last year, he was arguably my biggest surprise of the year, being how up front he was running the whole time in a Stewart Haas that was closing its doors and not worrying about NASCAR anymore. And man, I've rambled for about 10 minutes, probably 11 by the time I'm done with my outro, and I'm so sorry for that, but I just had to get my opinions out there. And before I go, I'm going to rate this on a scale, and I think the scale I'm going to use is going to be in reverse. So you're trying to play it like golf, because everyone does it to 100. So I'm going to do it 100 being the worst, 0 being the best. I'm going to give this a 25. And the reason I'm doing this is just to stick out a little bit, but it will seem a bit backwards for a while, and just give me feedback on how you guys like the graphing scale. And eventually I'm going to start editing and throwing graphics up, but we'll wait to see. Maybe I'll try that for Daytona, maybe for another event. But yeah. So I give this a 25 out of 0, or a 75. It was a decent race. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and come back next episode or tomorrow or today for whatever else will be published. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace, y'all.